higher build, but well, it's not really a ward; it's a step, but you know what I mean. Uh,
I immediately punch Ember.
yeah, doing
I
that
cry.
might get you in major trouble. Uh, Speaking of Ember, uh, Ember's mother this morning has something to talk to her about.
Birds and bees.
No.
No.
You're
So-
getting to the age where your flames burn a little hotter.
Oh.
So, well, the rest of you guys are doing your own thing. I imagine Max is dealing with his own mother. Tickle Belly is, probably still sleeping or, just about getting ready to get food. And I'm not sure what Naps would be doing at this time, because I don't know you guys yet. But Ember's mother is, like, knocking on her door just as Ember's servants are helping her get ready for the day.
I can't be bothered to dress myself.
Well,
How much work that is.
you have a couple of devoted kobold that really want to help dress you, so they don't mind.
Damn right.
You're nice and warm and you're kind of dragony, so they like you. But yeah. So your mother comes in and straightens whatever clothes she happens to be wearing. Says, so you're heading off, I see.
Yes, to do the daily stuff.
Yes. Well, I do have a very exciting opportunity for you in about 10 days. I would...
I will give her a suspicious look of, is it exciting for me, or is this one of your things?
I know how much you would like to get out of the city for a bit, and I have the great opportunity to allow you to go down into the Underdark for a little while. With a group of protectors, of course. But the Kingdom of Fire, which is almost directly beneath our feet, about a mile down, so to speak, they're having their 1,000-year of peace celebration coming up in 10 days. And they would very much like an emissary from here to attend. And I think I can get you to be said emissary. After all, you did say you wanted to see more than just Candalla Prime, and I imagine going down to the Fire Capital would be excellent.
I'd like to do an insight check on if this is actually my character's
Your character is what? I'm sorry.
mother.
Alright.
She doesn't believe this.
Definitely seems like your mother. I mean, who would attempt to be here other than her?
It's just very out of character for her, so she's suspicious. She'll go. Just think about it a little bit. Down below, well, I suppose I can possibly do this. I won't say yes or no, but I assume there are duties and such that I have to fulfill when I'm down there. So, do you know what that is, or is
Mostly just attend and don't embarrass the great state of Candalla. Sorry, the great country of Candalla. Or her family, of course.
right, of course. I have a few people who might be interested in this opportunity.
Good.
Come with me.
Good. She kind of looks under her nails for a moment and looks back up at you. It's like, very well, I will leave you to get yourself ready. I just hope you do not feel like you need to back out of this duty. And she tries to give you a smile before exiting.
Kind of give my servants a weird look before.
The kobolds are also watching. They seem like there's something going on there too, and they look back at you. The drow cat! That's that drow place, isn't it? One of them asks.
Well, I suppose it's probably. This is all very weird. I'm going to go to the docks now. Maybe see what information you can find of this place. Well, have to figure something out.
They nod, and you're soon ready to go. Meanwhile, let's see. Ticklebelly. You, excuse me. What do you do this morning after you get up and leave the Laughing Hound? Or at least leave their sleeping compartment in the Laughing Hound?
I thought maybe I would make my way down towards the. I don't know if there's a section that deals with like medicines and healing and such.
Well, other than the herbalist you were already at, there's on this level, there are the smaller temples who occasionally help out the people that live here in the dock section, but of course in the the underhang, as some people like call it, or the undercity, there are some unlicensed, unregulated herbalism or healing shops here and there. Ones that do business with other people on this level that the guards don't seem to care about.
So, maybe I try to. I guess what I want to do is I want to Lucy the afternoon or the morning. I want to set up a stand like, hey, questionable healing. 5 copper. There's, I don't know what the equivalent in gyms is, but an arbitrary amount of money.
Well, copper is fine. Copper and silver are still very much there. It's just that once you get up to gold, it's instead gems, red gems.
Yeah.
These little flat discs.
So I basically just want to set up an outlet for people who can't afford to go get proper healing, and I can't really heal them either. But I can at least give them some advice on how to treat their condition. Like, oh yeah, you need thistleroot to cure that.
All right. Well, there are some little places. There's not really. I don't know if you have the materials on you for a stand, but there's places where you could stand in between 2 ramshackle shops and have a sign that says "We'll heal for." Blah blah blah. You'd almost look like you're a homeless man doing this, but at this stage, unless you want to look for somebody that you could partner up with. But there's always those that would notice your sign and come to you if that's the case.
Yeah.
All right, and while you're finding a spot, Naps. What about you?
Naps is going to make his rounds, talking to people. He normally talks, see if there's any big work coming up that he needs to be prepared for.
All right. Well, in addition to some of the stuff that you've heard recently, components wanted this and that here and there out in the desert areas, you also hear word that somebody, let's see. The first one you hear is that somebody wants to deal with a nest of something living down in the sewers and gives a particular location. Apparently this is very close to, a fairly populated area of the Undercity and, a place where some people are actually living in the sewers, probably some rat folk, but, enough people that they want to deal with a slight problem that's going on in that section of the sewers. Also, as you're passing through the streets, you happen to notice a sign in front of one of the major shrines to Anubis, saying that they're looking for some help to clear out essentially a temple for them. That they would, if you came in and talked to them about it, they would give you some information. And as you're seeing that, you kind of see Ticklebelly heading off down into the Undercity. the underhang. Basically, area of the dock that's right under here. Where it's like, kind of carved into the underhang of that thing.
I will follow him along and head over to the bridge to meet up with Max and Ember.
Okay. And Max, what about you? What are you doing before you meet up with Ember?
Chores.
You don't have to talk if it's hurting your voice. We can always read it out for you. No, I'm just worried about you hurting yourself. I don't want you to, strain your throat even more than it already is. All right, so Max is going to be doing chores or doing Max things. So yeah, your mother was actually kind of pleased that you brought back far more money than you usually do. And so is, probably not going to be too upset if you stayed out a little later to try and get more money.
He's a good boy.
Yep, gotta get more money. And to that end, you're probably still going to want to help Ember out. At this point, you probably notice Naps going over to the bridge to wait for Ember. And Ember, about what time do you think you'd be coming down the bridge to meet up with your companions?
Probably as soon as possible.
Alright.
Your mom's being weird.
Yeah, but while he's waiting, he'll be watching the bridge coming into town across the way, seeing if there's anybody of note, kind of thing. Like, anybody that looks like got that.
No one much. The occasional farmer from outside, like, bringing in a wagon with some, some hulls of wheat and maybe a few odd vegetables to bring up to market.
Boring.
Yeah, those kinds don't really have that much money. Ember? What do you do?
Well, I would get down there and I would immediately start looking for Naps and Max. Sorry, I guess my thing keeps cutting out my last word no matter how long I hold the button.
How long you hold the button? Got it. Good morning.
Morning. We lose the tall one.
He is down in the other hang. I believe he is still holding your share of the money.
Oh, right. Well, I suppose we should find him. I have interesting news.
Very well. Are we going to temple today to do your do?
Maybe. We'll see if we have time.
Of course, have time. You did not do this yesterday.
Well, apparently I'm going to have other duties, so I don't know. Let's just find him, see if... I suppose see if he would like to do the work as well.
Yes. Yes, I'm great. Follow me. Acolyte. And I'll lead him to bum.
Yeah, so you find Ticklebelly kind of standing around, and I imagine he has a sign saying, "We'll heal or dispense advice for 5 copper." If that's okay with you, Ticklebelly.
Sounds good.
So he's just kind of standing there. He's managed to make, let's see here.
You have to appreciate it's worth having.
He's managed to make 10 copper at this point, essentially a silver. It's nothing much, but at least it's, a wage. Whether he actually helped anybody is another matter, but...
Didn't actually expect them to open a shop.
It's a something for sure.
Well, anyways, Tickle Belly, was it, or a tall one?
Oh, hi there, bare-heeled Ticklebelly. What seems to be ailing you?
Oh, nothing quite yet. But you know how we went out beyond the city walls last night.
I do
Turns
recall
out-
that I was there. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. But I've noticed as we were doing our thing that we all seem to work very well together. And I see you're opening a shop, so you must be in need of money.
No, not really.
Oh. Well, perhaps you will still consider coming with me as a part of my personal guard as we go to the Underdark, apparently.
The night below and everything. Oh man.
What?
And Max says, "We're going to the caves?"
Yes, seems Mother would like me to go down there as a emissary for their 1000th year of peace. And they require a guard, and you all have done well for this, so this would also put you in good favor with my mother, which could get you up to where there is more information of the temple this.
I'll consider that for a very long moment, and I'll say finally.
All right. I'm gonna need more details, but I think you've got a solid deal. I'm assuming there's some sort of recompense. We could talk about that later, though.
Max taps Ember on the shoulder. "Is this going to take long? I might have to tell my mum I might be gone for a few days."
Yes, you will have to likely say this. Yeah. I don't fully know the details myself. Mother was about it, but yes, this is our plan.
Um, Max wants to know how much he's going to get paid.
I will get back to you on that after I talk to Mother.
What time does this sort of activity begin?
I will have to get back to you on that.
In 10 days.
Yeah, your mother just basically said you'd be leaving in 10 days.
Oh, right, 10 days I meant. I knew that.
Bear Hill. I did see, however, across this way, there is a temple looking for people to do more work. I'm not trying to push you into more work. It's far be it from me. But I think maybe if you help out the temple, you're trying to get information about the area, they might be willing to trade it more easily if they are beholden to you. Yeah?
I suppose it's worth a shot. It seems like only people they like doing regular healing, though, comes from up above.
That is actually where the Anapoid here is from. Way up there.
Yes.
Well, I'm just saying, if they only really like for the healers from up above to do the healing down here. then I'm not sure that they're gonna want my help.
People will take whatever help they can get. Some are not within the, how do I say this? Good favor of the temples, and will have to seek other means to get healed. It's what my mother did when she first.
I kind of gesture to the other means to get healed that I have set up here.
Well, yes, I suppose that will work. It will take time, though, for you to get the word out that you are offering these services. But once you do, probably do fine. I'm not
Probably do what?
fine.
Yeah.
So, 10 days. I think we can do that. Do you need me to relieve that burning sensation you have?
I don't think so. I believe that would be very odd if I was not.
What about you, Naps? Do you have a cough?
Not right at the moment, but you'll be the first to know.
I give him
You-
a smile.
Do you just like make medicine?
Oh no, I am not licensed to practitioner here in the city. So I just give sort of homeopathic pseudo medicine advice.
Hi, Lyra.
Oh, that might not go as well. Have you perhaps asked the woman you took the job from yesterday if you could help her out? If you do have experience with medicines, she is the medicine maker. Actually, she's drow as well. We should probably go.
I can always check.
She might know some stuff about the Underdark.
What
Oh,
are
I
the
bet.
duties of an emissary anyway in this Underdark?
I'm not too sure. Mother was odd about it, and she's never ever offered for me to leave the city in any sense. She just entered my room today and said, "Oh yes, well, we were considering you for this chance to go out. I know you've always wanted to, and all of that." It was odd.
I would think that if such an opportunity presented itself to you, maybe you would have asked more questions about the specific.
She sort of left, and I was confused. I have my servants going and trying to find more information on the matter. But yes, I believe this is Mother. She'll kind of raise her hands and do air quotes and say, asking me to do this, but it's not really asking. Which makes it all the more weird. I don't know.
Yes.
Well, I believe you'll be able to find me pretty easily when you know more. I'm just a tall gentleman. Name's Bearhild. Slightly blue.
Right. So you are willing, yes? I forgot.
Oh yeah, it sounds like a great idea, and I guess I should sort of head towards the city top. I mean, I guess they might know some things.
And you won't be able to without the proper paperwork, but this is something I might be able to get you in time. It just takes time.
That was my implication. Yes.
Yes, you
Right.
did say you would get him up if you did the thing with the outside.
Yes, and I'm working on it. It's a progress. Sort of.
What
I
did
should
you
probably
do
go
to
back.
What have you done to work on it?
I was speaking to Mother about getting my own servants and how I have people in mind. And while it may not be a permanent position, it will at least give you time to go up there and we can go and see about this information without you getting in trouble.
It's worth considering.
Cool. I should go and find this paperwork and perhaps some other.
So you're not going to go do your duties today, then? Yes.
I think my duties have changed. But I'll be back in a bit, hopefully with better information. I was a bit excited. I'll be back in a bit. And she just kind of hurries off.
I think she's drunk, Max.
And Max just shrugs at all that. Alrighty. So, Ticklebelly seems to be determined to continue to ply his trade for now. Naps and Max, what would you like to do?
Naps is going to head to towards the Temple of Anubis to find out what that's all about. But before he left, he would offer anybody who wants to join him to come along.
And of course, Max decides to follow along with poor Naps. Rhyming names. Sorry about that, Larry. I did not mean to drop that on you. Oh well. Okay, so the two of you approach the Temple of Anubis. This particular shrine of Anubis. Standing outside is a typical acolyte of Anubis with a full-on jackal mask. They appear to most likely be a tabaxi a Catharian under there, since they are quite furry in the terms of their arms and hands and such that you can see underneath their robes and their mask. They turn towards you guys as you come close and say, you here to seek communion with Anubis?
No, I much prefer to breathe, but I'll commune at some point in time.
Don't we all?
We were here to inquire about the word saying temple might have infestation of some kind. Which would like
Oh, yes. The masked figure looks towards the little notice that's pinned next to the front entrance. Come along inside. We shall discuss this.
Please, thank you.
So the Nuban, it appears to be a male, and you have the voice sounds male, at least from the inside the mask. It's kind of hard to tell given the robes and the mask, but they lead you off towards one of the one of the little side rooms off the main entrance. And there's a few seats here. Looks actually kind of cozy, since a lot of the times shrines to Anubis, in addition to worship of Anubis, are the equivalent of funeral parlors here in this time, where people can come and give their last respects to the deceased. And you'll be give me a moment, because that's what I had to go do today. So, all right, yeah. Anyway, so the Anuban leads you into a nice side room with a couple of chairs and gestures for you to sit down as they continue to stand.
I think Naps will continue to stand.
All right.
So what seems to be your problem? Maybe it is something we can help with, yes.
Well, we were hoping to reopen a temple to Anubis nearby. It's just a little bit outside the city. Back from in an age when the worship of demons was looked well down upon, as you might know from history. If you kind of the figure kind of pauses for a moment and kind of looks you over. Well, perhaps you don't. Well, there are occasional histories where those of the temples up above decide to crack down and don't wish any worship of anything inside the city, except for the gods themselves, which happens. And of course, when that happens, worships have to go underground for a while, and the nearby temple had to be closed down and walled up. But these days, it's we're free to worship who we choose, and more are becoming followers of Anubis. So it was decided that the temple should be reopened. However, when this was done recently, it turned out to be infested. So we would very much like to hire mercenaries to go in and clear it out for us.
Infested with what exactly?
Well, they didn't get much further than the first room or two, but it was definitely some of the children of Loth. You can roll a history check on that if you like, or a religion check if... In this context, the way that they're saying, or Loth, or however you pronounce it. I always pronounced it Loth. But in this context, you figured that the figure does not mean the drow, but instead means spiders of some kind. Most likely giant spiders. No, not moths. I know there were at least spiders in there, and if anything got in on the underside of the temple, then who knows what else might be there.
Far be it from me to demand from such worshippers as yourself, but doing such a job would entail some kind of repayment, yeah?
Yes. And Max keeps asking, so we're killing moths. Moths don't like fire. So, spider moths, are they spider moths with wings? Do they fly? And at which point the Anubian seems to be pausing for a moment, just their face towards Max, and most likely looking at Max but it's hard to tell anything else because you can't actually see their face from under that mask. And Max apparently has a 100% serious face.
It's very possible we run into flying creatures that are more like, but we do not know, because they do not know.
Finally, the Anubian just shakes his head and goes, no, just regular large spiders building webs and everything. Now, if you're talking about repayment, yes, we can probably, if you can clean out the entire temple, give you 100 red gems. How does that sound?
That's a lot.
Yes, my human friend, that is a lot. Ask, is that a lot? And, oh, okay, we'll kill it. Now, there's only one problem that you might face. When the temple was abandoned, various traps were activated to keep some of the old treasures safe. We do not know if they are still active or if they've been triggered since then. You might have to be quite careful going down in there.
How long ago was this abandoned?
100 years ago.
Is there anyone that's still around that remembers these times?
Sadly, no. They have all gone on to Anubis.
If we do this for you, I have a friend who's very curious about the history of the area. Would you be willing to share information with him?
But of course.
Excellent. I think we can make this agreement happen. Um, where is this temple from here?
So the Inuman pulls out a map which shows the city and the river that it's on in the center, and shows right across the bridge and a little bit north, just kind of like up one of the little roads that nobody really takes, is a kind of a mound of sorts, and he kind of points there. Should only take you about an hour to travel to from here, on foot.
That's actually much closer than I was expecting.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. We will be off. If you don't see from us again, we failed.
Well, if you come back and we can verify that the place has been cleaned so that worship may begin there again, you will be paid.
And with that, he just heads out. Without any fanfare or anything. Okay, Max. Spiders. Do you think me and you could kill spiders alone? Or should we ask the others? I also think she would like burning the spiders, but I also think 50 gold versus the 5 gold that you spend a night.
Yeah, Max is like, I think Ember would like burning the spiders. And he shrugs. Now the big question is, are you going to invite your new Firebug friend, who's attempting to cast healing spells?
Well, that was the whole point of doing this, was so Naps could get him in with information, because he really does not think Emperor's going to help this dude out.
It's a valiant effort being put into it.
Alright.
Yeah, so he'd lead Max back to Bear Hill.
And let's see, Bear Hill.
Get in line, because I'm sure there's a giant line waiting now.
No, Lyra, these are my dice. No, they're not for you to take. No. No, Lyra. No.
Get him, cat. Get the fucking dice.
Roll a 20.
You can fucking roll
Ah.
a character too.
So, since your companions left, you've actually had a pretty big crowd, Ticklebelly. All looking for help, all looking for advice. And you have amassed a pile of 9 silvers.
Oh man, I'm just glad I could help the people.
So as the last of your treatment customers go away, you see Naps and Max making their way back to you.
Oh, back again so soon. All right,
We went to just talk to the people.
where does it hurt?
Every time Max speaks.
And Max's player is currently unable to speak, so I am speaking for Max tonight.
I start treating Max the same way I would treat Jay, which means I tell them to suck it the fuck up. I don't know. I tell them to get some soup, get a lot of sodium up in there, maybe gargle with it. I give excellent medical advice.
I want to ask Nibs, am I talking too loud? Should I talk a little quieter?
No, it's not that. It is not that part of
Is
my
it-
brain.
because-
It is not
because
my
I know
ears that are
sometimes-
hurting.
Because I know sometimes I scream when I fight, so that could probably be it.
I don't think that's the problem. I was just, the temple. The moth spiders, yes? Anyway, the temple, they say about an hour from here, outside the city walls again. Um, would you know it more bug problems? Bugs seem to be a common issue here. Um, but they say if we get rid of these bugs for them, then they will speak to you at length about whatever topics they have to speak about. And they are a very old temple, and they know a lot about the worship here and the city, how it was made. Those are the kind of things you were interested in learning about, yes?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's very nice of you to, you know, inquire on my behalf. When would you be looking to do this sort of event?
Well, we have 10 days, so any time within that is fine by me. It's not like I have a proper job other than keeping ember out of the fire, so to speak.
That seems difficult.
But
So,
how do you keep her out of fire if she's literally fire?
That's
That
the
was my
problem. It's a very difficult job.
oh, yeah.
But won't she die if you take the fire away from her?
I'm thinking so, yes.
So, I guess just come find me here when it's time to go.
Sounds good. I'm going to get a drink.
Max's brain is trying to process all this.
Come on, Max. I buy you breakfast. Let's go.
So, Ember, you were off doing something very specific, correct?
There was a few things. Yeah.
Alright. Let's cover that while your companions are off eating.
I wanted to know how one would, I guess, do the paperwork for service. So I could get 3 for that.
Who are you asking this of? Your mother?
Well, of you as the DM, I assume.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're asking out of character. Okay. Well, you would know as a lesser noble that they would basically have to present themselves to you and say that they wish to serve you and your family. Then you kind of take it before an Anuban to get it, to rule in a quick judgment. They, would probably serve also as, in addition to all the other stuff they do, it's like, they would serve as a witness. And then they would, file it with a council building, that sort of thing. At which point, you're kind of responsible for them, too.
How long would that take?
Oh, probably just a couple of hours.
Sweet, okay.
But it also means that if your servant starts stealing things, you would get charged with it.
Why would my servants steal anything? They don't steal anything. God.
I'm looking over at Naps.
Next she would try and find her mother to get more details about the, embassy.
Alright, your mother is off at one of the temples today. She is busy tending over some business there. She seems rather busy. Some of the lesser clerics and acolytes in the building are, they're busy with worship. Anyone you talk to basically says, she can't really be disturbed right now. Do you want us to leave a message, or do you want to come back later? That sort of stuff.
I'll just talk to her at home later.
Alright.
And I'll go back down to the docks to find the
Do you go looking for the your two main companions, or do you go looking for the new guy?
Well, I know immediately where Bearhild is, because he said he would be just at his...
Yeah.
So I'll go to him.
Alright. So there's only about one person still standing there, and they're got this young woman with she's got her hands on her hips, saying that your advice isn't at all helpful. That's not how you treat cramps.
Oh, the cramps is a really tough one to treat. I recommend massages, chocolate, maybe a little caffeine, and probably the company of a good significant other.
What is chocolate? She looks baffled at this. Apparently, chocolate
Oh,
hasn't made it
man.
over here.
I give her a good berry.
Either that or hasn't made it down here to this section of the thing. It might be something that's very rare and only found in the temples or noble section. So she looks down at the good berry, frowns, and coughs up the five copper as she eats it.
I'm just standing behind her, arms crossed, tapping my foot impatiently.
Yes, there's a very impatient flame woman standing there looking at you
just
now.
staring at the back of her head, just like, come on. Come
Yeah,
on.
she's
Takes,
walking.
like, at least 5 seconds.
She's walking away now.
Try a heating pad, eh?
Oh, it'd be the best.
Oh, hi, Ember. How are you today?
Oh, he's people are slow. Anyways,
Are you here about the issue that Naps brought up?
did you bring information? I don't fully recall. It's
Where you
fine.
said you were having some trouble staying out of fire.
I am fine.
I thought it was weird too.
I'm pretty sure he's just being a smartass. So, don't.
More feline than donkey, really, but yeah.
I wouldn't be too sure. Anyways, have you had breakfast yet? We should go find the others, get some food. I have some information.
All right. Well, I suppose I could eat. Close down the shop for a while.
And closing down the shop just means like turning my crudely made sign towards the wall. And I take my collection. What am I up to now?
Let's see. I think it was 75 copper at this point,
75 copper.
which is
I,
7 silver, 5 copper, however you want to represent it.
I just go to like the nearest temple that looks like it treats the
Oh, sorry, not 75 copper. Sorry, 7 copper, 5. Sorry, 7 silver, 5 copper. Yeah, 75 copper. Duh. Sorry, my brain was fluctuating.
I just go to the nearest temple that looks like they have some like, free health services for the poor, and I just donate it. And then I'll go to lunch.
They say, "Bless you, sir."
Going to brunch.
So, where did Max and Naps decide they want to camp out for brunch this morning?
Somewhere close and cheap.
All right, so you've got a little place down on the docks, kind of near the southern border of the thing, which has got the cleanest water, and there is a fresh fish place where they actually do the fishing right there in the morning, and as each fish is brought up, it is chopped apart and cooked up and served to the customers.
Perfect.
There's some seaweed as well, and just basically good stuff for breakfast, and some simple ale.
Yeah, so he's sitting there eating and trying to teach Max how to run a 3-card Monty game.
Oh, I love that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you don't understand. The ace is up my sleeve the whole time. There is no way to get there. So, like, whatever you pick, you're going to be wrong.
Then that's cheating.
Yes,
What if she picks the card in your sleeve?
you can't pick the card in my sleeve. You don't see it. You don't know it. Where did you come from?
I know you just said it's there. I feel like this game requires some sort of deception, and you're just telling us all your plans.
Yes, I'm not very good at it, apparently.
It's okay, buddy. I'm sure you'll get better.
In time. One can only hope, yes. Good morning. Again, good afternoon. Or you joining us for this fish is very nice today. Not too flaky.
I am starving. I need something, and I need it to be lightly seared. If it is not lightly seared, I will sear whoever is killing.
I give her a good berry after I hold it over a candle for like a couple seconds.
This is not fish.
It's lightly seared.
I just stare at them, and my hair starts to flicker just a little bit more.
Can Max pass his plate to Ember?
I don't want your food. I want my own food. Don't know where your hands have been.
Oh wow, that's
I think
kind
his
of
hands
rude.
have been with him all day.
He makes a
Please
good
sit
point.
down.
Max is just staring at his hands.
So now that Bailey isn't here, perhaps I should ask Ember what the big news is.
There's big news. I'm very sitting at the edge of my seat.
Oh yeah, she said
And he
that
stares at Ember.
she said that she had to fill me in on the details.
And then I stare at Ember.
Yeah, the owner of the fish shack kind of gives Ember a look, but basically pulls out a nicely seared piece of fish, at least a small portion, like a little bit of a fillet, and slides it onto some seaweed, pulls that into a little bundle, and hands it over to her.
And then he too stares at Ember.
And Max says, Max wants to know what Ember means by where my hands have been all day. It also stares at Ember. Everybody is now staring at poor Ember.
If possible, I would like to maybe convince like any critters nearby that they should also stare at Ember.
Alright.
Maybe I could let out a dog whistle, see if I can get some of them in here. Maybe the fish on the plate
Please do not whistle like
orient
that.
it
Very
so
much
it's
hurt.
staring.
No, the it's like a fillet of a fish, so it's like it's a piece of one. But like each fish is cut up into several pieces, so that several customers can be fed from it, and the head is kept for the proprietor.
I raise my hand and just put a finger out, telling them to wait, as I carefully inspect my fish, because now we're apparently doing. I'm gonna take way too long to inspect it.
It's going to be cold by the time you eat it. This way. Great.
And eventually I'll be like, alright, it's good enough. Nibble at it very carefully.
The proprietor kind of looks over at the other people gathered, and then glances at Ticklebelly. It's like, would you like some fish, sir? It's one of the kind of river lizard folk, the typical classic lizard folk look of stuff, though kind of crocodile-y, like a couple overlapping teeth and such.
I will try a fish and a nice breakfast beer. Or I guess it's a lunch beer now.
He kind of looks up towards the sky. Still kind of breakfast, not quite lunch. Maybe a little lunch. Still, you need to eat. And he pulls out some more from the grill, slaps it into some seaweed, wraps that up, and hands it over to you.
I don't inspect mine at all, and I eat it, and I hope I don't die from it.
This was needed. It was a good lunch. Breakfast, lunch. Why are we out here again?
You have big news that you can't wait to tell us. Good.
Right, yes, of course.
Excellent.
So, oh, yes, I do remember. Haha! And I always knew. See, the whole getting you up there, I can do this. It is fine. We just need a Anubin, and it will be easy done. However, you
You're
are
going
all
to
the
claim him, aren't you?
Yes,
Does he know what this entails?
probably not, but I doubt this will last long.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask, what does this entail?
Basically, you would be my servant. You would be pledging yourself to me, and I would accept this. And the Anovan servant would be like, "Oh yes, you've been accepted.
I
You're
have
now
to
a
pledge
servant."
myself. Oh no, I'm not ready for marriage yet.
It is not marriage, I promise. You would be a servant, a slave.
Well, I mean, a servant is just somebody who serves, but a slave. Well, I
If
mean,
someone
I
goes
guess that
slave.
kind of sounds like my grandparents.
Oh. Oh. Now I'm sad.
Look, this is the easiest and the most efficient way I can think of to get you up there. It's either that or we go through the long process of you proving yourself to people and you being a good person. And
Yeah, I like that one.
that will take forever.
Hmm. I guess forever is a long time.
Exactly, see?
And
you
is this
know
sort
it
of thing
feasible.
undoable?
It's possible. I mean, my mother did it, but she mostly got up there because we are fine. Associated it with religion and so on.
No,
I
it's
don't
definitely
think-
reversible if they'd hang you.
Well, if those of you who live in the city would know that it's not hanging by execution. It's the essentially a pair of Anubans would escort you down here to the docks. There's a special area kind of underneath the temple speaker position, which would be over here. At which point you'd be knelt down on a block, and a Selenan, who the people in the snake masks, would come over and decapitate you, and then your head would be put on a pike.
Look, it's fine.
Yeah,
I could just be like, oh no, I don't need this servant anymore. It's fine. He can go back to the docks or whatever, and it would be like that.
Yeah, he would go back to the docks and lose his head.
It only happens to like really bad servants, so he's not a really bad servant. I mean, look at him. He's probably fine.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, my concern now is if I became your servant, would I actually be licensed to you or your mother?
It would be to me. You'd be my servant, like you spread yourself for me.
And your mother wouldn't be able to get mad, say, for associating with us dirty, low-tier people and then have me murdered, right?
My mother isn't likely to do that. She's all about like the healing and being good to people and helping people. And she'd be fine. My mother isn't very picky about these things. She'd be like, "Oh, you're helping these poor people, and oh, look at him. He needs help, but oh, he also likes to do the healing thing." And she would love you, really.
Should do an insight check. Like, do I think this entire thing is a fucking trap? Like, this sounds
Fine.
suspect as hell.
Pretty much said it's a fucking trap.
Yeah, did perhaps somebody saying to me that it's a trap tip me off to the fact that it's a trap?
it's unclear why you even want this person for a companion, considering she's such a terrible liar. but she attempts to lie anyway.
It's not so much she's a liar as she's like a liar in that she's trying to convince you that
It's more of like a persuasion roll then.
she just doesn't actually know what's going on. She's just like, it's fine, probably. And
I don't know what happens to the servants when they go away to a farm.
pretty much, it's like, I don't know when servants do that stuff.
All right, well, I guess I'm out of options otherwise, so maybe we just take it one step at a time, try to play it by ear.
It's taking forever, though.
In less than a day.
Well,
Too long.
We could start with clearing out this temple, and then we could look at some other jobs, and we could go down and escort you to the night below.
I think.
Wait, what are we doing about the temple?
Do you want to burn more bugs?
Or do you want to persuade some bugs that maybe they should, I don't know, be our friends and hang out or something?
I don't know if I want bugs hanging out with me. But I would like to burn more things. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. Okay.
Do you think you could persuade the bugs to leave their home and still be good?
Oh, all of them? I mean, probably not. They have needs, and I couldn't care for them all. Maybe one, I could be like, hey, you want to be my new best friend forever?
Naps really considers for a while trying to figure out if that's how friendship works. Works for me. But yes, you are not here, Ember, but about an hour outside the city is an old temple overrun by at least spiders that they want cleared.
I may need my disguise.
You do not need to disguise. You do not need to look like a mummy all the time.
I suppose since Mother is letting me out of the city, it should be fine.
But that is unless I'm just assuming you have nothing to do for the day. I don't know. I know Max wants to get paid, he will probably come. Mr. Bella wants the information, he will probably come.
I'm excited to go do things that aren't praying and cleaning things.
Perhaps you should pray a little more. So would you all like to go inspect today, or maybe tomorrow? Is up to you. It's no rush.
Do you think this will be one of those things that, like the last one we ran, where we finish it really fast and we can be home?
They say it's only an hour away. I don't know how big the temple is. Cannot say.
Well, perhaps I can find the, I don't know, like floor plan or something for it.
Oh yes, there are also many traps they must not step into.
If there are what? Traps?
Traps.
That is true, Max. Somebody may take the job. I don't know. Would you like me to see if I can find some sort of blueprint or whatever?
I think it's going to be hard to find at the upper level. The reason the temple was built at all was because the worshippers of Ra pushed all the other worshippers out of town. So they're probably not giving blueprints to the Ra people.
I suppose that's true. And they're all very busy there. I tried to talk to Mother, but oh, you can't interrupt her. She's very busy. So let's just go.
Are you done with your lightly fried fish fillet?
It's not as it's not fried correctly, but
So it's not
there's
a fried fish fillet?
it is subpar fish fillet. The one woman who wanted those other bug bits, do you think she will want weird spider bit?
That is a good question.
Make more money by selling her the bits and pieces. I don't know where she is though. This is something you wanted.
Yeah, I do think we should see if the herbalist, alchemist, the lady, the drow, wants the trader, wants any spider parts. So I go there.
Yeah, I'll go with him. If you don't mind.
Make it a party.
Woo!
Hi there.
This jumping down is good.
I will try not to speak.
We should speak and be polite. This is a drow. Maybe learn about their idiosyncrasies and things you should or should not do.
You shouldn't tell them that. That is a rude thing to call them.
What is?
Idiot. Is that not what you said?
You do you.
It's not really the place for that type of activity.
I'm going to die today. I'm going to die today.
I go to the shop.
So, you make it down to the Quaking Owl. And Rala is currently opening up. She inclines her head as she sees you guys coming. Ah, are you here to buy, or are you looking for more work?
More work. Yeah. Do you have any bounties you really need collected on certain ingredients?
No, not at this moment. I don't have any special requests for particular potions or anything.
What about spider parts?
Well, I am willing to throw a few silvers your way, depending on the part and the condition. Maybe even some gems. Do you have any on you?
No, but knowing that you might be interested is a reason enough to seek some out.
Well, don't forget to put them in a decent bag or container. Some burlap bags would work well if you're collecting spider parts.
That seems like a good idea.
And I'll just go over real quick, try to get the parts that she would pay for, and then we'll leave.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd be willing to pay for things like, if you can actually get an intact web duct, or, something that, produces webs, she's willing to actually pay you a full gem for that, gold, equivalent of a gold piece, for things like, poison, fangs, and such, a couple silver here and there. It's a good, you can get some nice money out of harvesting the giant spider parts.
Yeah, and I'll go over like what we're gonna try to attack and try not to attack to preserve spider bits for harvest.
Nice. See, you wouldn't have thought to do that.
Alright, so that should give you an advantage on survival checks after you've taken them out, in terms of
I would also
harvesting.
like- Go ahead.
How does she feel about lightly roasted spider?
Well, that may damage the poisons and definitely damage the web spinner. But sometimes it's the only way to deal with an infestation.
Yeah, I would buy several more vials and a couple burlap bags. legs.
Yeah, that should be like listed in the player's handbook in terms of cost.
Sure, sure, sure.
Do you need me to pull it out?
Nah, that one.
Okay, cool.
And then we go find God, the spider god, the demon queen of spiders. On the road again. Walking 70 feet down to the temple again.
Yeah, my Sunday game is actually named On the Road.
That joke is probably old for you.
Yeah, the weird thing is that a lot of it's no, Lyra! 1 second.
Put down that
Lyra,
squirrel!
no,
No,
no plastic and rubber, no plastic and
no
rubber,
plastic
no.
or rubber.
Those are not toys.
They might be toys.
Not cat toys.
It might be adult toys,
You have cat toys.
but not cat toys.
No.
You want a corgi?
I don't think we're
No.
gonna find a corgi. Unless, does anybody have polymorph?
It's not even like I have that drawer open or anything like that. And I have something sitting in front of it. She still managed, before I could grab her, to reach over, pull it open, and yank and yank one of the little figurines out, and jump off. No. And now she's back up here again. No.
Why do you hate animals with legs, Jay?
Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way and put the thing I was using to block it earlier.
Get a snake.
Snakes are awesome.
They are.
Because if the animals had legs, they could do karate. And if they could do karate, they could challenge her for martial supremacy.
Oh man.
That makes me think of a kangaroo.
Makes me remember Grandma's boy when we taught the chimp karate.
It was an underrated film.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Fucking robot.
What film is that?
Grandma's boy.
Gosh, yeah, I never saw that. Sorry.
You
It's
should look it up.
pretty-
It's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty crass, but it's got a lot of good scenes in it. A lot of good quotables.
Yeah, quotables are always good. Alrighty. So, what would you guys like to do? Have you finished, shopping and getting yourselves outfitted, or do you have anything else you need before you get set off on your
I'm
excursion?
just gonna set off on adventure and glory. What should I
Adventure.
Ba, 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 ba.
Please no dinosaurs. Please no dinosaurs.
Dinosaur spider.
Well,
I
there.
could.
Speaking of dinosaurs, something that maybe the Furbug hasn't seen yet, but some of you guys, or at least the ones on the dock board, have seen this before. As you were finally leaving the city to go out to this temple, you spy one of the... No, Lyra. No. That cat.
Cat.
No. You spy a caravan coming closer. And this one happens to be, instead of harnessed to camels or a horse, happens to be harnessed to an ankylosaurus. So you don't see these very often, and even though you were traveling on the road recently for a while, you hadn't seen this before, Ticklebelly. But Max and Naps, you've lived here long enough that you've seen the occasional caravan arrive with one of these. They are apparently very hardy in the desert area and have, taken flourishing to it. They look like little armored tanks.
Well, shit. Now we have hashtag goals.
So you pass by one of
Fire
those,
tanks.
those in a caravan heading in. And let's bring you to the temple. It currently is a blank page for you guys. Alright, so you would enter the temple in from the south. And what you'd see before you is, after walking down the road for an hour, it kind of like peters off and it's like mostly unused. I mean, the road that you're on to begin with looks like it hasn't seen much use in a long while now. Like, you know, there's some fresher tracks, meaning that somebody came in and out. And there is a, you know, a typical mound that you see a lot in the, you know, desert-y type region. Although there's, like, you know, some more plants that have grown over it because of the, you know, because you're right near the river, so there's, of course, been silt dropped over here, and that's built up over a while. But there's still, like, you know, layers of sand here and there, because the door to this temple, which is half buried, has recently been excavated out. But you see no sign that it's currently occupied, at least not by people in this frontal region. And let me make a quick roll here. And as you walk down into the first passage, what you see is fairly dark. Does anybody have any trouble seeing? Character-wise?
I will throw some light onto my stick.
Alright. So as you head down, you find yourself in a entryway. Let me quickly put this up. Decided I wanted to do it this way just for the fun of it. Alright. 20, 30, and 40. So we have the entranceway right there. And you have a... Sorry. Wrong thing. It keeps pushing me off to the wrong thing here. I'm like going, okay, I want to do this freehand instead of that, and it automatically... Okay. So you have your door going down here, and then you have two passageways heading off another direction. One here, and one over here. It is fairly dark inside, and there are, you know, some evidence of webs, some of which have little bits of scorch marks on them, although the smell of burning is long gone. It seems like somebody came down here into this rather cool chamber and started trying to burn away some of the spider webs that were in the way, only to discover, you know, the problem and then report back. It doesn't look like there's anybody dead down here at the very least. You're not picking up any scent of fresh death in the first chamber, which would probably also be the next chambers around it. But it is very dark outside of your own light source. And there's just, you know, I want to say not really a musty smell in the air. It's actually slightly damp because of the proximity to the river. And there's another smell that's, I think Max in general would probably associate with arachnids, at least, you know, ones of a large size. Yeah, Max is telling everybody big spiders.
Yes, once we go inside, if you don't mind, we go in the front when we go into a new area and make sure we are not stepping on something that will get us killed, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to go first. But I can make more light if we need.
Yeah, so head in.
Bearhild will head in.
I go home.
We close the door.
We
I
live here
close the
now.
door.
Alright. So there's not much of a door there. It's more of a, you can see like bits of debris that were just outside of it, outside of the chamber. That looks like somebody had once bricked this part up and then, you know, removed the bricks and kind of left them off to the side. So there's nothing really to close. But it's just like slopes downward in such an angle that the sun isn't hitting it. As you look around, you see that this goes directly into a chamber over here. Let's see if I can get this shape right. And of course I'm doing this on the wrong level. Oh well. So it's an octagon. 40 by... Wow, a really big octagon. It only does squares. Polygon lines. Yes, that'll work. So that's 40 there. Probably 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 25, 30. Yeah, I'm terrible at drawing shapes, so please forgive me for this. So
We will judge loudly.
Judge.
we have a chamber about that roughly in shape. The chamber is... Yeah, I was hoping to find a better setup for rolling tables, so I wanted to do some random rolls because it's kind of fun that way. At least fun for me. Chamber is... So, you find yourself looking off towards this direction. I hate when I do that. If you find yourself looking off towards this direction, you kind of get the distinct smell of old water. Like you know how like outside by the river it smells one way, especially because it's towards the north here. It smells a bit of the runoff from the city. You know, some of the sewage that hadn't quite been treated yet, along with like excesses of textiles and other just pollutants that get into the water. In here, it smells a bit different. It smells kind of like, well, what we would associate in our modern age, like a fish tank that hadn't been cleaned in a while. Like there's a, kind of an algae stench that's coming up. Sometimes in the cities, you would smell that towards the south, near to the sewers, where the pools of stagnant water collect. That seems to be coming from this direction over here.
This place smells terrible.
What's coming the other direction?
Let me do another random roll for you on that one.
It's a cake factory. Hooray!
So, on this one. Alright. This one just appears to be a passageway heading, heading off. It is passage. Yep. Sorry. It's a passageway that heads off straight for a while, but then you can see that it makes a bend after about 20 feet. So, passage width, and the width of the passageway itself is only about 10 feet. So you see it kind of go there, and whoops, wrong layer, my bad. Alright, so you see it kind of go that way, and then you see that it is bending and heading. Oops. You see that it bends. You don't know how far from there it actually goes. And I wish I can get the mapping software to actually work for me properly instead of just constantly doing that. I don't know why it does that. Alright, so it arches and bends there at that point.
And
As you're looking around with your torch, you notice that this area over here does appear to have a higher concentration of spider webbing compared to this little hallway over here. This one is definitely cooler. You kind of almost feel a breeze coming in there, like like a small whisper of noise, and it definitely smells different. Like there's not as many spiders. The spider smell isn't as strong down that way.
All right. And you said these aren't doors, but just like kind of archway kind of thing.
Yeah, these are archways, so they're like you can easily see through them.
Just gonna head over there and take a peek around the room.
All right. So as you look around the room, you can barely make out all the details because there's a lot of big webs in the way. But you can definitely make out that it's a rather large room, and you can sort of make out in the center of it, partially, only partially obscured by the webs, what appears to be some kind of well. Where's that good ticket for that? Right off in the center there.
Well, I
Um,
suppose finding a well is well enough.
Like, what are the floors and ceilings made of?
They're definitely made out of.
Spiders.
From what you can tell from the floors under you, and it seems like the walls and thus most likely the ceilings are the same. They're kind of a orangey brownish stone. I want to say some kind of granite, maybe. I'm not entirely sure what the correct composition is, but it's a nice hardy stone of the one that you imagine that if you were to be trapped in such a place, that you could eventually, assuming you had enough food, like aka if the furbog kept supplying with Goodberry, could eventually dig your way out. It might take a year or two, but you could probably do it.
Sandstone.
Sandstone. Thank you.
Limestone, anything
That's
like
a,
that.
that's a good word. That's the one I'm thinking about. Sandstone. Thank you. Yeah, so it's definitely sandstone that's everywhere.
Aaron, could you bring your light closer, please?
I can make moving lights.
That works too. I just want to see the ceiling and the floor. They say it's trapped. I'd like to see it before we step on it. But
For sure, this is easy. Now, snap my fingers to dance the light. I'll give each of us a globule of light.
Well, we could try burning some of the webs away. I got
Oh, I
a
think
quarterstaff. We can use like a sort of a trap engagement device.
Poke at them.
yeah,
I can
but
also set everything on fire.
after like they get the bite and the dancing lights moving around as much as they can, he's going to try to inspect the floors and ceiling, see if anything looks out of place.
All right, roll me
Yes.
a perception check.
Should I do this too? Can I do this too?
Anyone who's looking in that room who's trying to perceive what's going on in there, please roll me a perception check.
I'll be honest, there's no way in hell that Ember.
Yeah, Max, you're still kind of squinting. However, Bear Hat, you're gonna have to move closer to there to see. You guys can see the map, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So since you're playing in there, you're gonna be moving closer. All right. So get you guys kind of peering in there. Yeah. And Bear, you can see these guys up on the ceiling.
Alright, I just slowly close the door and I say,
Well,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's an archway, but yeah.
I say, oh yeah, there's two big ones and then two huge ones.
And I'll point like in the rough direction of each one.
And did you want to try to make friends with them, or are we going to tell Ember to burn baby bird?
Uh, you know what? Let's try it.
I stride into the room.
He kind of
And
turns around as he's moving into the room and looks at Ember and is like, "Get ready to burn everything."
Her hands immediately light up and just like, yes. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and if it becomes hostile, I'm going to firebolt.
I stride in and I say,
Why, hello there. Friends? Oh man, you guys look pretty cool. I mean, I've definitely had some spider friends before, but they weren't quite the size that you guys are.
Where do you walk into?
like, just into the room so they can see me.
Okay. Did you have any
Yeah.
special animal handling, animal friendship?
I get advantage on charisma and wisdom checks when I speak to animals, and I
Alright.
can speak to animals.
Yes, but what sort
Uh,
of intelligence and/or wisdom do they need?
You have the ability to communicate in a limited manner with beasts and plants.
Oh, if
They
you're
can
gonna give me
understand the meaning of your words, but I have no special ability to understand them in return.
All right. Hell yes, that one. If that one allows you to speak with plants, then I'd imagine that even with the low intelligence of these guys, that they would have some concept of understanding you. Um. No. They're. You can see that they're definitely twitching up there in their big webs and everything. Uh, they look like to you that they might be a bit hungry. It doesn't look like anybody's been. Nothing's really been around here. You know that. Yeah, there haven't been too many. Opportunities to eat recently. So they're like, all eyes are gazing towards you, but they're holding off on descending on you because you're apparently talking to them in a way that they understand.
But they look hungry.
Oh yeah, even with you can't understand them in return necessarily. You get the overall impression that they are hungry.
I say,
Oh, I bet you guys are starving. I tell you what, give me a second. Let me see what I can do to make your bellies a little less rumbly.
and I come out here and I say,
Oh man, does the Temple of Anubis always do what to the bodies? I'm asking if sometimes they return them to nature.
Not typically, no.
Am I lighting them on fire? Oh, yes.
Well, we could like buy a couple cows or something and feed these guys. And then maybe convince them to just leave.
What is the likelihood they will leave? If we spend the money to get cows and bring cows here and
I-
feed them up.
I hold up one finger. I walk into the room.
Hey guys, I had the idea maybe we could get you a couple of plump cows, circle of life and all that, and we'd let you feed on them. And then if we got you all fed, maybe you'd go out and, find a new home.
You can see that they're definitely clicking their mandibles together, as if this seems like maybe a good idea to them, but they don't fully understand you other than the general concept of you will bring them food to eat.
So they say, like the idea of being brought food. I step back in.
Oh, it's difficult to say. They might be into it, but it's can't really understand them perfectly. I don't speak spider. I tried holding my fingers in my mouth to make like little poison things, but it didn't work very well.
That's a shame.
Maybe we could like poison the cows or something. I don't know if that would work on spiders, but that would be great. Be like, oh yes, here we're so kind, have this, and then they all die.
If the point was to kill them, we just kill them. We'll, for their sake, way around it said murder best.
Oh, right. I knew this.
So I how much does a cow cost? I used to know stuff like this.
Well, out here, I can do the desert. The desert and the less availability of such things. It would probably
Well,
cost.
they've got herd animals of some kind. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
That's true. But still, any animal purchased above the size of like a fish would probably be twice whatever the player's handbook would call for such a thing, or the Dungeon Master's Guide. So it'd actually be like rather expensive compared to a normal city area, just because it's a desert location.
Hmm. So
It's always the
looking
opportunity
at about-
to lure something in here, of course.
we're looking at about 32-ish gold for a couple of pack animals.
With
I
no
throw-
guarantee it'll work.
Well, I just had this bright original idea, totally my own, that maybe we could try luring something in here.
Well, Max, do you know what's in the area? I don't know what spiders like to eat, so maybe I'll just kind of whatever the fuck.
No, I imagine they eat just about anything. Said you guys have trouble with scorpions, right?
Max says, "Don't they eat bugs?"
Oh yeah.
We are not too far from the city, though. I'm not sure how readily available scorpions are going to be. I don't know. This is not what I do.
Yeah, it's not like Max is the only adventurer out there who occasionally kills stuff and gets bounties on them or anything.
Not to mention if we ask them to leave, where will they go? If they'll be like, oh, wow, that city looks amazing. And then we get to there, and then we have a whole spider problem in the city.
I don't really see that being an issue. I gotta just ask them to go to the west.
Well, if that works, still want to light something with fireball.
Tell you what, we go outside, we try to find something. If we do not find something, come back in and
It's
Perfect.
a bit sad to say, but I think you're making a good point.
Wonderful. And I trudge outside and I try to look for animals even though I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Survival check, perception check.
Yeah, can I help with this?
If you go outside with her, yes.
You may want to do your own check. I don't know what
Can I do my own check? Get out of here, nerd.
Yes, you may do your own checks.
Oh, I got a 9. That's bad.
I don't think anything lives out here, guys. I'm pretty sure this place is
Wow.
just like dead.
it's very bright out. Anyone knows it's so very bright out? Max notices it's bright out.
Yeah, Max.
Blind.
Yeah, Max is kind of not able to see anything out there.
He's just holding on to one of the dancing lights right into his face. It's like, how does this work? As he slightly blinds himself.
And Bear, pretty much the only thing you see as you look anywhere near the front entrance to the temple is a couple of bunnies that are coming out to graze on the grasses that are growing around here.
Well, guess this means fire. I like this idea. Wonderful. And she turns around and starts to walk.
Was
Yeah,
not
it's
quite what I had in
unfortunate. I
mind.
mean, they're nice creatures. They're pretty reasonable considering.
Well, there's nothing up there, so I don't see what.
Yeah, the smaller ones have descended down from the webs on the ceilings and are skittering across the floor.
She points to them and goes, "Look, they're
Expectantly?
attacking!"
Like expectantly, like, oh, Dad's home, and I think he brought food.
No, they're more like tired of waiting for food and going after the first warm-blooded things that they notice.
See, they're attacking. Can I light them on fire now?
Roll for initiative.
Oh.
I'm so lighting them on fire.
Yes, but can you try to, like, not ruin stuff?
Sorry, my character's retarded.
I'm sorry,
Your
my
character-
character wants to save all the animals.
Your character's a murder hobo.
I would like to point out that I'm not the one that tried to kill your puppy this time.
These are
Well, at
definitely
least you
not
guys are
puppies.
killing it before I've tamed them. Like,
Alright, so let's see, the first giant spider, which is this one, finally climbs down from its web and starts moving over this way. Ember, what would you like to do?
Let me just do a little bit of measure.
Let me just do a little bit of measuring there, partner.
Move there, and I will light the farthest small one up.
Alright. Yeah, it's just barely visible around the edges of the well.
There you go. Look, they're attacking! Pew!
Once your firebolt kind of launches itself over the top of the well and slams right down into it, you hear a bit of a squealing as the spider starts catching on fire, and a brilliant light looks up from that direction.
I see.
Max.
Sorry. Max sees that we're fighting. We're gonna charge in. He'll charge in.
Rah!
Ceiling. Is that one on the ceiling?
No, the only ones on the ceiling right now is the orange one. The rest of them are all on the floor. Orange is still up on the ceiling. But red is right there in front of you.
Okay. We're not level 2 yet, right?
No.
But you might be after this encounter.
I killed a baby spider.
Nah, it's still alive. You just kind of cut off 2 of its legs, but it's still squealing. It's still gnashing its mandibles.
Chitter,
Naps.
Chitter, chitter, chitter. Try to finish off scary spider because that's scary. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But will not do anything except swing at the spider and go.
Swing and you miss. Always bad when you get that good of damage hit.
Happens.
Tickle Belly, what would you like to do?
so there are 3 spiders minus the orange one, and the other 3 are all on the ground.
Yep, the orange one's still up in the web.
I do not have. Wait, no, I do. It's a level 1 spell. Ha ha! Get fucked. I will cast Entangle. A 20-foot square,
Nice.
which will get these 3 guys. I web the webbers.
Brilliant.
I am the one who webbed.
Yeah, that's a
And,
20-foot square instead of the 20-foot square originating from one point, right?
starting from a point within range, I've got a 90-foot range. So I'll just have it go, and then, I would go lower, but then I would trap Max, and then he would be entangled.
Yeah.
And then
So what's the
he would
DC?
die.
What's the DC on this?
Oh man, it did not give a DC, but the DC is 14.
Alright, let's start with the
Believe
giant
you don't have
spider.
your DC in the spell.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
the
Ooh,
sheets
giant
are-
spiders. And this is entangled plants. It's restrained, so it can't move any further in. Alright. Or rather.
Do I get the DC in the spell? And the spell?
Yeah, I don't know. Some of them show it, some of them don't.
I think there's a way. I just
No.
don't use these sheets, so I always
look-
forget how.
Let's look at red. Ooh, red. You see vines just wrapping around the one wolf spider that Naps and Max were hitting at, and like the vines are now just basically wrapped all around it. You can just see a little bit of flailing leg come out of there, whereas the really big ones legs are being restrained, but it's still up and thrashing. You could probably still reach out at Max and grab him up. Now the final one. Final one's also restrained.
Alright.
Alright.
You guys have advantage on attack rolls against them.
Well done.
They have disadvantage against us.
So the spider jumps down from its web, landing on the floor with a bit of an impact, and will go right for Max. Which misses. Good for Max. Now this giant spider, let's see, will repeat its saving. Oops, giant wolf spider, not giant spider. Giant wolf spider will resume its saving throw again, and it's still entangled, so it can't go anywhere. This one is completely turned up, and it's trying to push out of its entanglement. Still entangled. And finally, the third one again. Third one just goes right from, can only reach Max, so it gets its advantage on him. And will bite. Missing. Ember. You see a lot of biting and thrashing from the various spiders, but none of them are landing blows.
I'm gonna go and be risky. Gonna go here. And I'm gonna do Burning Hands and get all the spiders.
Alright.
I guess here so I don't get max.
The Burning Hands was still a touch attack. Oh,
It's a cone.
that's right, it's become a cone. Alright.
Apparently I rolled shit though.
I just remember the days when it was a touch attack.
Yup. Many, many days it was a touch attack.
Yeah, which makes sense given the name Burning Hands.
Well, it comes out of your hands.
So, 15-foot cone means that it's only hitting the one directly in front of you. And is there a DC to avoid for half?
No.
Alright. Because I didn't think that would be an auto hit. Like, I think only magic missiles auto hit. Oh well. I'll take it with that for now.
I'm not sure. I will double check.
Oh,
I dragged it into theirs.
yeah, sometimes it's a little flaky. Max, go for it.
Can you reach this big one or no?
You can reach the big one. In fact, you can reach both the big ones.
I'm gonna take the big one.
Which one? Green or orange? Green? Alright.
Yeah.
You currently have advantage. Alright.
Shit, don't. He's not raging, so it's just 9.
Yeah, I know. I didn't hear you announce rage, and you don't have a rage token or any kind of token that would make me think rage on Max. Naps, what would you like to do?
Try to finish off a little spider.
Alright.
Red.
It's, yeah, completely entangled at the moment, so it should be pretty easy target. Oh yeah, you basically just, bring your rapier down and pierce right through the body, completely annihilating the thing.
Yay. And I guess he'll do a little movement. Move to there.
Alright. Tinklebelly, what will you do? You still got 2 spiders ensnared by your entangle spell.
Okay. Alright. These guys are doing things. I don't agree with them. But you know what? I will make my way up to this spider here.
Alright.
I will get in melee range with him. And, you know, in Crocodile Dundee, when Dundee gets out and he holds his hand out and he goes, wow, and the cow, like, becomes obedient.
Aw. It's been ages
I
since
wa-
I've seen that movie.
I want to tame this spider. I want to tell him,
Hey, listen, guy. I can protect you. I can get you fed and keep you fed
Let's see.
if you'll be my friend.
This will be animal handling.
excellent. I have advantage on this.
Alright, go for it.
25. And I swear to God, if this works and somebody attacks my fucking spider, in game or not, I will find you.
The spider looks as confused as much as a spider can look confused. And he's going towards green. Max, are you by chance colorblind? I'm not. I'm just curious, because I usually put the little dots in there to help identify, which spider is which. But I know that if you're, yeah.
Nah, she's just fucking baked. That's a joke.
Yeah, if we were colorblind, that could be a problem. But yeah, so he's just basically looked at green and done something that the green spider looks very confused, and it just cautiously puts out one of its little feelers in the front, like the little struts that are coming off of it, and
I put out
rubs
one of my
against
little
that
feelers
hand.
to touch his feeler. Let our feelers
Pulls
touch.
you in and eats you.
No, it seems to be subdued. However, the other spider is now looking at the larger target that you make, and it's attacking you, Ticklebelly.
Uh-oh.
Trying to steal it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. That might kill me instantly.
Oh god, that's a really horrifying attack.
But then will
Oh no.
Daryl's new spider girlfriend come
Oh
over?
yeah, oh god, that's instant death from one of those.
Let's hold on a second. Have as much damage as one with the poison damage.
Because it's more than twice your maximum hit points.
Yeah. What's the DC?
It's a con roll.
Okay.
But it reduces okay. Target must make a DC on a failed save or half as much. I wonder what happened to the automatic DCs showing up on those things.
What is the DC? So that I can find out whether or not I die.
Let's see. Yeah, it's not showing up on here, which it should. Let me double check the book. The book will have it. Like, there was some sort of cyber attack on Roll20. It might have just been security, but it might have also messed with the sheets again, or who knows. So, let me check the book.
DC 11.
Alright, so, yes, if you make your con save, you will not instant die here. And if you
Oh,
do
man.
instant die here, I am incredibly sorry because I really like your character. And at which point I'll make you do a fate roll to see if anything intervenes to save you.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a moment.
But if the dice kill you, the dice kill you. It happens.
Let's embrace the calamity. Will I be the first to die?
You live!
Then
Well,
close.
at least this
Baby.
time you live. You are completely knocked out and are slowly dying from the piercing damage. Basically, it connects right into your back, and one of the piercers goes right through to the other side. Blood drips down. Thankfully, the poison isn't enough to kill you right away, but you're at 0 hit. Oh,
I fall into my spider friend, and I let him catch me, and he cradles me against his bosom.
yeah,
He
you
shouts in spider. No.
For future reference, I use red for your HP and green for your AC. So
Well,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, you just put your AC to 0.
I mean, he's not wrong.
And your HP is showing 11, so I'm not sure what your AC is supposed to be. There you go. So yeah, he passes out, and when it gets to your turn, you'll need to make a death saving throw. But you're not completely dead, so that's a good thing. The other wolf spider over here tries to wiggle free,
He's free.
and it's still stuck. Oh wait, entangled concentration.
No.
All right, then it's free.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The ropes become untangled, and that thing is now freed up. So it is going towards. It is streaking towards the nice warm object over here, also known as Ember.
Look,
There's nothing nice about that woman.
Oh shit.
I
You're gonna
will-
insta die too.
Nope,
No, that's
nope.
not instant die. Even if it downs her, if it shield is shield add 5 to your wait,
Yeah.
shield only
Give me a
adds
20.
Yeah, it's not enough.
not enough.
I won't bother.
Yeah. So again, 11. You have to make it 11 on your Constitution, or take the poison damage. Okay, good. So to be, you take 10 points of damage, which means I think you're still up. Yes, you are. You're not even down from that. Excellent.
It bit my ankle.
It looks really painful. Thankfully for Tickle Belly over there, this spider has now become his friend and has just seen the other spider attack him. So that spider is going to attack the other spider while covering over your corpse or near corpse.
He's protecting me. He's my best buddy.
It's adorable.
Spider just
we're gonna
bites down on the other spider,
Friendship bracelets.
and you hear squealing from that spider.
Make some sandwiches.
That brings me back to my old red versus blue days. Ember.
First I scream. I don't know if I got any bonus action. Do you consider drinking a potion bonus action or a...
I believe it's a bonus action, actually. Let me drag up my... I have, I had something like that posted here at one point. Let me see what happened to it. It was this...
Spider girlfriend.
I had this whole list of things that I found somewhere on the internet, and I really liked it, so I was using it for all of my needs that way. Whenever I needed to look up, here it is, Player's Quick Combat Guide. And you get one move, one action. Oh, yeah, use an object is on there, but hold on. Withdraw an object from the thing is just an interaction, which is on there. But yeah, bonus second attack or bonus action specified by ability or spell. In this case, I'm going to do your potions as a bonus action, which means it'll be fine. Because drinking from a flagon counts as an interaction, which means that it's fine. And potion, basically, just withdraw it from your backpack and drink it would be a bonus action because it's using 2 interactions, aka bonus action. I'll roll it that way. That's how that works.
I will down that, and I will acid splash the 2.
Which one? The orange or blue? Oh, it works both?
Yep, if they're within 5 feet of each other.
Okay, excellent. So I'm not even going to worry about making a save on this one because save only cuts down half the damage. That one has less than 3 hit points left. So that one's instantly dead. No more giant wolf spider. The other one, though, let's see here. The other one saves. Only takes 3 points of damage. Max.
So, which spider are we not killing?
Don't
One
kill the
close.
top spider,
Kill the top.
Don't kill the one with the heart indicator on it.
I
because I
attack.
will find you.
I attack the top spider. The heal. He'll attack this one.
Alright.
I guess I'll rage. Because he just saw his best friend go down.
I will buy your karate dojo.
I attack the spider.
And you
Hey,
cut it
oh,
directly in half. It's like you scream in massive rage, take up your great sword, and just go slice, and 2 halves of this giant spider just fall in opposite directions. I thought did you go? Wait a minute! Don't you get rage from advantage from rage anyway?
No.
Huh?
It's I
Reckless
thought-
attack
thought
is at level
it's
2.
level 2.
Yeah, that shouldn't have done that, but hell, I accidentally deleted it. I'm gonna go with it just because it was a cool action.
Here,
And give it to you this time.
I moved right there.
There we go.
And it could have been called flanking, so that would have given you advantage anyway. Anyway, at this point, Bearhild is laying on the floor, dying. Naps, do you have anything you can do?
He's gonna go and try to stem the bleeding, but he's not a healer. He's going to go and apply pressure.
Good berry.
If
So-
I've ruled in previous games that if you're unconscious, you can't eat anything, which means you can't eat a good berry, but you can drink stuff. So Naps.
Or my last potion down his throat.
Okay, so Naps, you're just going to wait up on that. Are you actually gonna use a medicine check, which might cause a death saving, which might, if you rolled a natural 1, would cause him to lose a death saving throw for screwing up a medical attempt.
Oh,
Or-
fuck yes.
Alright. Alright, so no, you don't heal him, but you don't make him any worse. Barry, you get 1 death saving throw, or a possibility of coming back. Nope, that's a loss. Giant spider kind of hovers over you, unsure whether or not to attack the people in front of you. Ember now is going to pull her second healing potion down your throat, which will work.
You're dying, and this cat is trying to crawl into your lap.
Basically.
So we can't use the good berries on an unconscious person?
No, I've ruled that in the past that you can't feed somebody something if they're unconscious.
Okay, I will
Uh,
swap that spell out with something else.
Actually, it's still useful. What a previous party used it for is that, okay, the one guy had a couple good berries in his hand, the other guy was unconscious and dying, he crushed it up, made a successful survival check throw, and let the juice drip into the guy's throat, and I had him heal back for 1 hit point.
That's a lot of rolling on it.
Yeah.
I'll just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Good berry smoothie.
Yeah, basically.
Well, that was exciting.
So you're gonna still have to make the potion roll.
Oh,
Because he's still technically dying there. You haven't actually given him the potion yet.
there you go.
And suddenly you heal back for 7 points, Tickleberry. And there's a giant spider hovering over you.
Oh,
I come back to consciousness. I see the spider hovering over me protectively. I feel the life coursing through my veins, and I look up at the spider and I say,
oh, you healed me, big fella. Oh, thank you, spider friend.
No,
I hug him or
Actually, Ember.
I hug him around the neck. I can't hear any of you.
You saved me.
he didn't.
That was the nicest
It
thing
was-
anyone's ever done for me.
Oh my god.
You're such a good spider friend.
Like 5 gold on him at
I
least.
can't keep these tears inside. It's so nice.
Stuff like that money.
Oh,
Look, are
man.
you done making out with your new girlfriend? We've got to harvest his friend.
I check the markings. Is this a man spider or a lady spider?
Roll a 1d2. It is a man spider. So it's slightly smaller. In fact, it's slightly smaller than the one it attacked. Apparently, they were a couple, and
You caused a divorce.
yes.
Most violent spider divorce.
He was gonna be eaten soon by that lady spider. I did
That's
him a
the nature
favor.
of things.
I just hugged the shit out of the spider who saved my life and healed me.
I throw the empty bottle at the back of his head.
Naps
So
puts
you
his
are,
back
eh?
to the wall here and just waits for the spider to turn on every.
Alright. You have now earned yourself a spider companion.
I need a name.
But
Inevitable death.
I thought we were supposed to kill the spiders.
We're supposed to get rid of the spiders. And this one is mine to be my friend.
And you can now control that token.
Ho ho! I send the spider to aggressively kill Naps. And as he dies, I say, "This is for the dog. This is for the dog."
What happened with the dog?
He killed my fucking dog.
He didn't have a dog.
Yeah, when you killed
You're
it.
right. It was a puppy.
It wasn't a
You're not
puppy.
making a good argument for yourself.
It was a dog that you shrunk.
And
it
it's not a
demon
dog.
trying
Now
to-
it's a dog. Your story's all over.
No,
the
I said it
place.
wasn't your dog. It was an enemy, and I killed the enemy. Yeah. Is this thing going to eat me when I try to cut up his friends?
Probably.
I think it would be wise if we brought.
And at this point,
Yeah,
you
outside.
also gain a level. You are now all level 2.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Each of you feel stronger.
I feel more dragon.
But I'll take him outside when we harvest, and I want to see if I can catch him some noms. Like there were some bunnies. I'll
Yep.
thorn whip some bunnies, and just they're just snacks.
Imagine there are people who'd be very sad to hear that.
I don't think anybody in this group.
But yeah. Yeah, the furbug has gained a giant spider companion. Fun.
That
All
is
right.
not in the city, and I don't know how to.
So here's the moment of truth, guys. What druid archetype do I go? Do I go shepherd and protect 100% of the animals? Or do I go moon and be 100% of the animals?
Then you can actually be his girlfriend.
It's a tough call. Somebody roll a die. Somebody flip a coin.
There are other circles, you know.
Not to me.
Moon. There.
You didn't call it beforehand. You
I
technically
did
mean
it in my
anything.
head.
Well, he didn't know
Haley,
that.
you're a
You could've
woman.
trusted
You can't be
anything.
trusted.
This is true.
Got her.
Got her. No, I trust Jay. Jay, roll a d2. One will. You didn't let me finish.
Brian, it's your
One-
turn.
One will be. All right, I trust Brian. One will be a shepherd. Two will be a moon.
What's
I
up,
am
Shep?
a shepherd.
We all rolled a 1.
We're never killing beasts again.
You're never killing a beast
I
again.
light his spider on fire.
Be nice.
Tony? No. Can't make me. Oh,
We were taking average for the points, right?
You can do what you want with the hit points. Either average or roll, depending.
Max says, always roll.
I think it's only worth it rolling if you are like a low HP person, like a sorcerer or a wizard.
Yeah, I've got a character in one game who, unless the GM, because it's a starting character, unless the GM lets me re-roll everything, they have a -1 to Constitution.
well, I'm a sorcerer, so I have actually really high constitution. Stupid high constitution. I might be the toughest.
I've got a 3 con.
I have an 18 con.
My dex is really low. Can't dodge nothing.
Yay, another spell slot.
Does this count as a rest when we level, or do our hit points go up with our increase? How does that work?
Your hit points go up, but it doesn't really count as a rest, not yet.
Okay. Oh man, level 2 spells. Here we come. We're almost there.
Yeah, but you won't be able to use them until you get a nice rest for most of
I don't
these.
have them yet.
Yeah.
Need another level.
Ember,
Mm,
you shove some of your lights down into the well.
I suppose, yes. And I'll send 2 globules down into the well, and I'll keep 2 just kind of circling around us.
1 second.
Oh god.
Oh god. And I just destroyed everything outside again.
Broke the world with dancing lights.
No, it's on me. I was
Broke
just
the world with dancing
I was
lights.
busy setting up a few rooms because I was making some early rolls. I decided that I should probably throw in a fog of war at this point before they pay attention to the new rooms.
I've already memorized everything.
I have an eidetic memory. What are we talking about?
I have an idiot memory too.
Alright, so, yeah, you go over towards the well, and there's just a stench of what you guys that have lived along in the city have come to recognize as like an algae of some kind. And this well pretty much is unusable at the moment. There's just, lichen growing down the walls of the inside of it. There's lots of greenish ickiness down at the bottom. It smells horrible, and there's definitely not clean water down there.
It is disgusting.
It's not that bad.
It is disgusting. It's awful. I don't think
That's
there's
bad.
anything. Unless you want to go down there, but I'm not.
Just want to see if I could see anything down there.
Well, should you see?
I see algae.
Maybe you've got to go in there and clear it off or something. But I'm not going.
Yeah, neither am I right now.
Wonderful.
Sorry. What? I did AFK for a second.
Oh, we sent some dancing lights down the well, and it's funky and grossed out.
Do you want Max to jump down the well?
I
Only
don't
if
want Max to jump down the well, but if Max wants to jump down the well, Naps isn't going to see.
Are you okay over there? Titillated?
You just covered
Jay?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought I put VRB in the chat, but I didn't.
Just
If
making
you want Max to jump down the well, he'll jump down the well.
I don't see any real reason.
Only if Naps runs
Well.
all the way to Max's mom and just panics and she goes, "Did Max fall?"
Our friends had to get in here from somewhere. There might be more of these critters around.
Yes.
Oh, if
And,
there's big
uh,
spiders, we can kill them.
Well, we have to.
Now
dismount
that I'm level 2,
first.
I can just talk to animals. Get in
Who's
there.
good at taking these things apart? Is
Points at Tickleberry.
it's all you.
Sorry, so what were you saying? I was trying to read a thing.
Oh, we want you to roll survival to harvest.
Yeah. I'll do it. I'll take the spider outside, catch a couple rabbits, and then have him wait in the next room
Alright.
while I harvest spiders.
Well, the token is all yours to command. You can move it anywhere you want.
Yeah, just stay.
All right, just wait out here, guy. Just gonna clean the place up a little bit. And
I will use my globules that I still have up here to try and light it so you can work on.
Are you?
What do you want?
So from the giant spider, you definitely get the individual poison sacs from either side of the body that's laying on there, and you even managed to find that somehow that when Max was cutting it in half, that he didn't destroy the web portion of the body. You know, the web shooter. So that you managed to harvest intact as well.
Bailey, could while I'm doing this, can you write that down, please? Okay, thank you. Bye.
What?
God damn.
Two poison sacs and a web shooter were harvested successfully.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Now, for some reason, Spider-Man always shoots from the wrists and not in any appropriate spot.
I think that the some reason is pretty obvious.
Yeah, I know. It's still.
Alright, I got them.
And now that I can understand beasts, I will ask it if there are other spiders in the area, other creatures living in the area.
And you get that it is aware that other things are in the area, but getting more specific than that is not exactly anything it quite understands. It kind of like functions as lots of things that are edible and other things like itself are just wandering around.
That works. Other things like itself. So we've got more things to clear out.
But where or how to describe where to get them is, again, outside of its wheelhouse.
All right. I just, make sure he's appropriately scritched. I assume that we find out today that spiders are basically big dogs. They love scritches.
Well, there's a couple kind of spider in Australia that are like that.
Also, a lot of
I forget what they're called.
mysteriously bitten people in Australia.
Anyway. So, what would you and your team like to do? You're standing currently in a web-filled room with brackish water before you in a well. Stench of algae coming up from there, and some dead spider bodies lying around.
Fine.
I light up Max's belt buckle, and I let him dive.
So Max is seriously going down to the well.
Well, if there's more spiders down here, yeah, they're gonna kill them all.
Alright, well,
Max.
how are you lowering down into the well?
I'm gonna lower a rope, so if something happens.
So you
we can
got a
pull him
rope,
out
you're
by
tying it around his waist
Yep.
and lowering him down? Alright. So, Max gets lowered down into this well. Oops. His feet touch the disgusting algae-covered water. And he starts sinking, and sinking, and sinking. And eventually, it's getting up through his chest and up to his chin. Does he continue to allow himself to be lowered down, or does he attempt to scramble back up?
If he's just sinking,
When
when it's like shin
roll
deep,
Constitution.
is it-
Roll Constitution saving. Oh, you said shin deep.
yeah, when it's shin deep, does
Guys-
it look like there's anything in this well?
Did you say shin or chin? You might have to write that down.
Shin.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they don't have to write that. It's okay. So his feet quickly disappear under the water. The water rushes into his boots, and you can feel like the slimy algae just kind of collecting there as well.
Oh yeah, it's great for the skin. It exfoliates, brings out the freshest layer.
Yeah, that's
Also
great.
knows how to swim.
Is there anything in this well? Just aside from him sinking.
Well, all around is a very mossy, mossy stones all around you. You're still enough that you can see your companions. You're still like you look like you're halfway through in the well at the moment as you're being lowered. Naps, are you the one trying to lower him, or is that Ticklebelly doing that?
I can do it.
All right,
I
whoever
was
just
thinking
said.
we were all kind of pitching in
Okay.
on that.
Okay, if you're all pitching in on the rope, then whoever's up front, roll with advantage on a strength check.
I have no bonus strength.
I have a 15 strength, which is not great, but it is not bad. Here, it looks
Beats
like
mine.
this.
The rope begins to slide in your hands. Max, you get lowered down to your waist all of a sudden.
That's great. I like to dig my hands in the well, see if there's anything here. If not, he's gonna be asked to be pulled back up.
It's all slimy and gross, and you kind of get this feeling that if the rope somehow got dropped, you'd have a hard time climbing back up out of this well.
He'll start thinking of a way to apologize to his mom, in case that happens.
Well, you feel the coolness of the water just kind of filling up your pants and sliding down your legs, and
he'll tug on the rope.
Hydrating.
He'll tug on the rope and be like, "I don't think there's anything here."
All right.
How far have we
Another
lowered Max down?
You can sort of see the top of his head still, but he's slipping.
Alright. I'll pull him back up.
Roll a strength check with advantage because you're all helping. Oh god!
That was a save.
Same
Fine.
score.
I know.
Yeah, the rope suddenly pulls, and Max, you get dropped it through the well. You're still holding onto the rope, but suddenly your head connects with the water, and it's like, oh my god, the water's all there, and whoever's in front, roll a dexterity saving throw now. Because of the sudden weight drop. You're being pushed over the well, and you might fall in. So, dexterity saving throw, please, Tony.
Strength saving throw?
Dexterity.
Dexterity.
Alright, you managed to stop yourself, and thankfully as Max from lowering any further, but Max is kind of spluttering down there. He's completely head to toe soaked, covered in algae. He's having a hell of a time.
Okay. This, Mr. Doubt Spider, come here, please.
And if Mr. Doubt Spider can come over.
I just need you to put about 4 legs on the end of this rope and just start tugging.
Alright, do a strength check with advantage on the spider, please.
Oh no.
And
Is
Max-
Spider even strong?
And Max
Oh,
mumbles, I mean, this is one way to take a bath in filthy weather. Mom's gonna kill me.
Spider got a 14.
So Max, your head kind of lifts back up out of the water as you're holding on to the rope, and the rest of the rope's curled around your waist to keep you steady in case you drop the rope. But they're clearly trying to lift you out again. Your head lifts a little bit over the edge of the well, and you can see that the spider's now helping.
I look at the spider like it's the worst spider ever. They should be able to pull up a web easy. And a rope's kind of like a web. You're bad at this.
I dropped the rope to let Max die so I can scold Naps for bad mouthing my spider.
I go home.
We keep
I realize
trying
the
to
error
kill
of my ways.
You get lost.
Yeah, I get lost.
So
Oh,
one more
pull
one,
Max
one
the
more
fuck out of the way.
one more strength check, and you should be able to get Max out of that well.
I want to do.
You want to do a thing? Do the thing.
Yeah.
You kind of like
I'm really
pull,
struggling.
and now his arms can reach over the well, and he can help pull himself up. Max, roll a strength check. Because you're now able to grab onto the other side. You're trying to lift yourself up, but your feet are not finding any purchase whatsoever on the very slippery wall, and you're kind of like you're just holding on by your arms, not able to lift yourself any further. Thankfully, you've still got that rope wrapped around your midsection. And Max is looking very dour and isn't sure how he's gonna get out of this. What would you guys like to do?
Take 10 and do it again.
Is he towards the top?
Yeah, his arms are over the side. He's trying to lift himself out, but he because of the slickness of the walls, his feet are just not finding any purchase on it.
We just keep doing it. Keep pulling on Max.
Strength check with advantage again, please.
Come on, Bear-Hilled. They call you the Bear-Hilled. 14 again.
The dice gods are not liking you guys tonight. Except for the spider bit. The spider bit, apparently the dice gods liked. So, you pull and you pull, and you're... You know how you see the group of people pulling one large object, and suddenly when it finally moves after it's been stuck for a while, they all fall over?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's happening now. You go tug, and finally you pop Max free from the well, and you fall over in the ensuing chaos. Max lands on top of whoever's in front, so probably Tickle Belly.
I think there's a lesson.
Oh.
I just don't know what it is.
And
The
he's
spider saves the day again.
and he's just shedding that filthy water all over you. There's now algae clinging to your fur.
No, Max will get up.
Does algae look like it has any herbalistic practices?
Nope, it just looks slimy and
Always good
unappetizing.
protein, though.
Yeah, maybe if you had some good time to process it, but this stuff is just slimy and unappetizing.
Oh, he can totally climb walls, but he's also, my spider friend. I did not hire him to be my friend to send him on suicide missions. Little itsy bitsy spider went down the water spout, Max. God, don't you know?
That was a water spout. Should have gone down. That's all I'm saying.
This is bullshit. You guys don't understand working conditions for spiders.
For their unions a bitch.
I need a good punny name for a spider that also is life-saving.
So, Max, roll a Constitution saving throw at this point. You're beginning to feel a little sick from your time in that well. Like maybe there's more than just algae in there. So you think you might have? You think you might have? You think you might have swallowed some of that disgusting water, and it's not sitting well in your stomach whatsoever. Maybe some went up your nose, and it's like, ugh.
He's in the full cleanse. It's a ketogenic diet. Can I get a character sheet when you get a chance?
For what?
I'm just gonna put a token on it so that I can drag my totem spirit around whenever I use it.
Okay.
Is Max going home?
No, he's gonna go check the other rooms.
It's gonna tell mom.
There's one
Tell
up
Mom
to,
what you guys-
there's one up north from us, and this one is.
Oh, I see it.
All right, Webster. I just want you to stay in the back here and you keep yourself safe. If something comes to hurt Ember or myself, you put him down. You let him know. No, that's my humanoid, and he's my best friend. And you save us, man. You're so good.
So, as you poke your head in to the next room, you notice that there's like, a big fire pit in the middle. There's a couple of big spits over it and a few pots laying discarded about. There are also some large hooks interspaced around the room, and it's hard to tell what used to be on them. Some of them do seem to be stained very red, though. There's not much of a bad stench here, like you might expect from a room that definitely held food once upon a time. But you do see bits of shriveled meat here and there laying along the floor, possibly shriveled other stuff, along with the droppings from various rats. There's just a fire pit. There's no actual fire.
Oh, that's exactly.
Okay, I'm going.
Definitely some kind of kitchen. But what exactly it was used for, whether it was used for food prep or something more sinister, is hard to tell.
Is that a door or another alcove?
It looks like another opening going into another room. Roll perception check.
I continue to use my globule.
Looks like a wall. Definitely a wall. Sure.
What is in that room?
Well, you don't see anything or hear anything from the doorway. Your ears are slightly blocked up.
I'm gonna check the archway and the surrounding floor for traps.
Alright.
Investigation, yeah?
Yep. Investigation, perception, yeah. Yeah, you don't see anything here, though you do see a few tracks in the dust that seem to be leading into that room. As you glance into that room, through the gloom, you can kind of make out what looks like a really long table and a few benches around it. A discarded plate and goblet can also be noticed on the closest to you on the table.
Fine, I'll do it. I'll do it.
And as you step in, you hear a mighty hissing noise coming from from one of the chairs nearby, and a giant rat leaps out at you.
I go, oh rat, do you want to be my friend forever? This is so cool. Me and you can be buddy.
It's already launched itself at your ankle
Yeah.
as you attempt to talk to it.
Oh man, Webster, it's gonna be a good day. I told you I would feed you, and you're
So
about to
it
get
missed.
fed.
Naps's cat instincts are gonna kick it.
But as you're standing there looking at the rat, you hear squeaking and several more coming to join it. Coming out from underneath the tables and whatnot.
Wow.
It seems that they have you surrounded. But this is a rat condo back here.
And these spiders couldn't find food. They suck.
I don't think they could get through the door.
Oh, the little ones could.
Well, the little ones weren't destined to live. Webster was smart. Webster recognized friendship.
Okay, so Orange goes for naps. And misses. Naps, what do you do?
Naps is going to stab at Orange.
You can also roll for the giant spider if you wish to join in combat, by the way.
I just wanted him to stay in the back and play it safe for now.
Alright,
Count
that.
10 hits.
Nope. 10 does not hit.
Then he will use his bonus action to disengage.
Running out of there, huh?
And go there so we can funnel rather than be surrounded.
Alright, good plan. Tickle Belly.
I want to tell Webster to get ready to attack a thing. And
Spider definitely looks like it could eat some more tonight. It already took care of some bunnies, but it could eat some rats.
I tell Max to move to his right, and I'll ready a cantrip for when he does.
Do you wish to hold your action until then?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Giant rats. This rat comes swooping in right towards Max, and has advantage because of pack tactics. And bites onto his ankle for 5 hit points.
It is a little rude, I have to agree.
Ember, what would you like to do?
I will acid splash, pink and need dex saves from them.
Doesn't that hit right in front of you?
I don't believe so.
This is 60-foot range, I can't imagine.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so cool. Just want to make sure. Let's see. Dexterity saving throw for pink. That's a save. And then dexterity saving throw for blue. That's a save. They squeak a bit as a bit of acid gets towards them, but they don't seem to hurt much for it. Pink goes for Max. Pack tactics again.
Jeez, Max, do you think you could have a turn sometime this fucking year?
Bites the other ankle. Green rat comes sweeping out here and decides to go for naps instead.
Yay.
Does not have pack tactics on this one, so misses. Max, your turn.
I'll just move. Provoke opportunity attack?
Are you disengaging?
No.
So that pokes two opportunity attacks at advantage. And second one.
Second one misses. No, never mind. It hits me.
Yeah.
I'm almost dead. Can I hold my action to see what Tickle Belly is doing?
Yeah, you can hold your action till then. Tickle Belly, what do you do?
I don't think it's gonna work. I wanted to thorn whip one into the spider. But now the path I think is blocked.
So what would you like to do instead?
I'll just thorn whip it and not move it into the spider.
Which one?
Probably pink.
Okay.
Bah. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? Bah.
And that's a miss. Max, what do you do?
Slap this rat in front of me.
Alrighty.
Where'd my
And
gun
that's
go?
a miss. Your greatsword nearly slips from your hands, but you manage to catch it in the last moment. The rat seems to be laughing at you. See, purple. Purple comes streaking out from there. And goes for Ember. Misses. Red is blocked in, can't do anything. Orange is blocked in, can't do anything. Naps!
Green.
Right sword, green.
Right sword, green.
Wow, that's dead.
Left butt cheek, blue.
Tickle Belly, what do you do?
I see that Max is having issues keeping all of the blood that they have inside of them. I will.
That's a common problem.
Summon my totem spirit.
Woohoo.
It's a spider now.
It's just a thing for now. But I'll put it like over here. And the short version is I'm bringing out the unicorn. It's actually a bunny corn. I grant my allies advantage on all ability checks made to detect creatures. Pretty much not important. But if I cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points to any creature inside or outside the aura, each creature of my choice in the aura.
How much
also
is the aura?
hit points to my druid level. The aura is 30 foot. So I will heal everyone in this room 2 points of healing. Plus
So
a
yeah,
cure
that
wounds.
definitely hits everybody.
Well, not the rats, but all the good people.
Yeah.
And then I will cast a cure wounds on Max. So Max, you get 7. Everyone else gets 2.
Max, no longer on the verge of death. rat runs forward.
I would like to hiss at it as it runs forward.
Roll, on your turn you can roll a... Well, actually, no, let's just do it now. Roll an intimidation check.
Natural enemy.
Then, instead of it going for you, it veers off at the last moment towards Max with advantage.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get it to bite me. Sorry, Max.
Well, you intimidated it. It's fair of
Yeah, I
you.
failed.
For Max, but thankfully it missed Max. Ember!
I'll try another acid splash, getting purple and blue.
Alright.
Cut him.
Didn't even take any hit from that. Kind of jumped up in the air as the acid falls to the ground and lands safely elsewhere. That one, though, takes 3 damage. It looks very rough as some of its fur sizzles away from the acid. Let's see. That one can't do anything right now. Max!
Slap this rat in front of them. My reckless. No rage though, so just 11.
Alright, that's dead.
And that's all he's got.
Okay. You might want to put an indicator on your token for reckless. Red comes through here. And goes for Max. With advantage. Does 6 damage. Nice. Well, not nice for Max. Let's see, orange can't do anything just now. Naps!
Blue.
And Blue is dead. Its corpse is littering the floor now. Its head somewhere else.
Blue's there, so nothing else can move in and hit Mac.
Ticklebelly!
I'm gonna go ahead and drop another Cure Wounds on Max, and everyone who is friendly gets 2 points of healing. Max, you get 2 plus 8. You get 10 points of healing.
It's good to have a healer in the party.
You're
Ember!
not taking damage.
Ember, what would you like to do?
I will firebolt.
Pink? Got it. Oh, and Pink's dead. The firebolt just kind of lances through it. You smell of singed hair fills the air. Max, what would you like to do?
That was muted.
It's
Says I'm gonna attack this rat.
Yeah.
And you cleave yet another rat in two. Its bits of its body just kind of like laying there. You see the heart, the 2 halves of the heart flutter in the corpse.
Is this door open? He kicks it open. He gets on this rat.
Nice.
Alright.
Starts swinging at the
He
totem.
mad.
And that rat attacks you, Max.
Jesus.
What is with your ankles today? Your ankles are covered in rat bites now.
Does the rat get sick from all the algae?
No, the rat's probably been eating that stuff. Naps!
He's gonna get back there and stab this bitch. Yay for
With
advantage.
advantage for flanking! Plus you get sneak. It doesn't even matter. Piercing killed it before the sneak damage could. Woohoo! All the rats are laying dead at your feet.
I slide one over towards the
The spider leans down and just kind of chews, sucks out whatever's left of the rat's corpse to feed it himself.
Yep. Let's start breaking down spiders.
There's no spiders here. Just rats.
Rats, I mean. Let's get them all nice and full.
We want to sell them to the butchers, but I do not think that they want the rat.
But what about Webster?
Oh, if you want to keep them probably whole for the blood, no?
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many rats Webster's going to eat, but I'll try to save a couple for later.
I make disgusted faces.
Naps decides keeping this thing well fed and on their side is a good idea. But this is just a dining hall, it seems like.
Yes, it's a small dining hall.
Yeah, but the thing they were eating was Max's ankles.
Oh,
The rats took it over and made it into their own private lair.
do you need a break for a minute, Max? Do you need to sit?
I can't interpret.
Cool, then we move.
And sadly, I think I'm starting to fall asleep here after this day and everything going on in it. And this seems like
Makes sense.
a pretty good spot. And I can finish making the random rolls for the dungeon for next week. Seems to be getting some good bones in here. Nice little temple. The spiders already told you that there seems to be more spiders in here, along with food. Of course, it considers anything smaller than itself food. So, what that exactly means is unknown to you.
We're going to have a lot of conversations, me and Spider Bro.
But yeah, the coolness here is that your bear friend, your furbug friend there, did find a new friend, a bear companion. A spider companion, which is always cool. I mean, I know some of the books say, like, give them this or that, but I'm more like, if you can make it work and convince an enemy to become that, especially for, like, a druid or a ranger, yeah, this is or, for a wizard for that matter, this is going to become, like, a companion or a familiar of some kind. That's kind of like how I prefer rolling when it comes to that sort of stuff.
I'm gonna find me the coolest familiar guys.
And then I'm going to kill it.
Well,
It's gonna kill the spider.
if you're not naturally like a one of those classes that normally would get an animal companion, you'd have to have a lot of levels in a lot of points into not points 5th edition. You'd have to be proficient in animal handling and other stuff to convince me to allow the animal to actually respond to your commands rather than just follow you around.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can I make Naps my familiar?
Isn't that part of the pledge?
At lunch.
Yeah, that's if you decide you wish to become something really evil or join into the forbidden devil arts, you might be able to turn a sentient being into a familiar. Yeah.
But can I do it without him